Evening, ladies and gentlemen. 6 p.m. annual town board meeting is called to order. This evening I'm going to have Vice Chairman Dan Paulson run the meeting for me. Thank you, Dan.
You betcha. So first thing we're going to do is
Approve the minutes.
approve the minutes of the public budget hearing and special town meeting for the November 16th, 2017 meeting. Is there a motion?
Vice Chair, I would like to make a motion to table the minutes for approval for our next meeting. After reviewing the minutes, I felt that they were incomplete. They did not recognize any of the statistical information that I had given during my speech at the November meeting. I know that the minutes reflect the statements and statistical information that Chairman Nystrom indicated. So either we add my statistics to the report, or maybe we can strike Chairman Nystrom's information. It's sort of like a all or none type of situation.
I'll second the tabling.
Okay, there's been a motion to table the minutes of the November 16th, 2017 meeting, and a second.
I would like-
Any more discussion?
No discussion on the
No
table.
discussion.
I would like to just add, table it to what? A time?
Table it
Yeah, to the next meeting.
to the next meeting.
It should be the town budget meeting.
Town budget meeting.
The annual one in November?
The annual one in November would be.
That's what she indicated.
Unless we,
No, there's a motion and a second. All in favor of tabling them?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
I guess
Motion approved.
that's approved by all the electors too, correct?
Oh, yes.
So
Yeah,
any
we need
girls
everybody
need-
voting
Oh,
for this one.
everybody voting, so we need.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
we need a raise of hands to anybody voting in favor.
Yeah, in favor, raise your hand.
In favor first.
Opposed?
Sorry, I didn't tell you that first.
We have 16 people. I've only got 13 votes.
Responsible.
No, I know, I'm not counting you.
So 3 people abstaining.
Could be.
Oh, you didn't vote? Okay. Do you?
Doesn't have to.
No, he doesn't have to. Okay,
So-
okay.
So,
Let's just leave it at that. Okay.
so,
Okay.
so what, 12, so they'll be
12
tabled until the, be the November 2018 meeting. Okay. Second item on the agenda will be to review the 2017 financial statement.
Do you want me to read that first?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
This is-
Lisa will read that.
This is from the financial summary that's done by Schenck. They're our auditors. And they came in January this year, and we just got this a couple weeks ago, the draft. So the general fund balance on January 1st of 2017 was $669,965. The budgeted amounts for 2017 were, revenue was $2,628,847, expenditures $2,945,671, leaving a deficit of $316,824 to be taken from the general fund balance. The actual revenue came in at $2,648,811 and expenditures at $2,842,417. This gave the town a final deficit of $193,606, which came out of general fund, giving an ending fund balance on December 31st of 2017 of $572,420. And then our legal margin for new debt, as of December 31st, the legal margin, what we're allowed to have in debt is $24,841,853. And our fund balances at the end of December 31st, which is our separate designated funds that can only be used for certain purchases, is $95,739.
Okay. Any motion to,
Any questions?
No motion.
do we have any questions? Okay. Motion to accept the financial summary?
We don't need a motion.
Don't need it?
No way.
I don't know.
Just a review.
Yeah, just explain it, it's just like
Yeah.
any other report, they're just a report
Oh,
of our expenditure, in the same way with anybody else's reports.
okay.
I mean, what would you do if you didn't accept them?
I don't know.
Start over.
Yeah, read them again until we did. We'd stay here all night. All right, first on the report list will be Treasurer Amy Cook.
Good evening. Cash on hand as of December 31st, 2017 consists of the following. Wood Trust checking, $106,000. Wood Trust investment accounts, $183,000. River Cities Money Market, $316,000. Outstanding checks, $28,883. The fund balance is $635,469. Tax collections consists of $4,753,233. Total cash on hand, $5,388,702. Interest income and investments. The Wood Trust has interest of $974. The River Cities Bank has $1,574. Other interest collected, $1,710, for a total of $4,259. And our current loans are the squad and ladder truck, $38,153. That matures November of 2018. We have a grader, and that's $76,736, and that matures March of 2019. We have a loan on Town Line for $131,111. That matures March of 2018. We have a plow truck and squad loan for $150,556, which matures February 2020. And the current loan that we just took out is for tornado siren, generator, furnace, and AC, and a few other miscellaneouses, is $96,061. That is going to mature November 2020. So we have a total then of loans, debt is, as of December 31st, 2017, the total is $492,617.
Mr. Chairman, is there anybody having a hard time finding these reports?
Well, they're there.
Oh, okay.
One quick question.
Input?
When you say maturity, does that mean that's the time you're gonna have it
Paid off.
paid off?
Paid off.
Okay.
So the last payment is gonna be due on those.
So those that show 2020, there'll be an 18, 19, and then a 20 payment of the same amount. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Thought I was, but a little
We should
foggy.
have the bulk of our debt paid off in about a year.
Okay. No other questions? All right, let's move on, right? All right, next on the agenda is Fire Chief Don Bones.
Good evening, residents. The Grand Rapids Fire Department is currently staffed with 38 firefighters and 5 EMS first responders. We also have 10 honorary members who help us out throughout the course of the year around the station doing odd projects for us. For the year 2017, we were called upon 74 times for a variety of calls. 40 of those calls were in the town of Grand Rapids, 11 calls in the town of Grant, 10 in the town of Saratoga. We were also called upon 13 times to provide mutual aid to surrounding municipalities. Those statistics are pretty common almost every year. Seems like the split is just about identical every year, so must be staying the same. The first responder group was called 242 times in 2017. This group of dedicated members needs to be commended for their commitment in responding to every EMS call in our town. This is a great service that they provide, allowing the EMS provider to keep his costs down, thus saving taxpayers a tremendous amount of money, of dollars. We are currently starting a campaign to recruit more members. Our numbers are slowly diminishing as crews get older. We have made changes to the requirements for membership that allow people to perform non-structural activities with a reduced training requirement. The yearly activities are about 90% of our calls would not require all members to be structural firefighters. With that in mind, we're hoping to attract a group of men and women who can assist us with without the burden of 120 hours of initial training. Unfortunately, as of today, we have not had any interest from the public in performing these roles. This is a very alarming trend that is not unique to us. Departments all over the country are struggling to find help. The existence of fire departments will greatly rely upon municipalities that operate fire departments to come up with alternative methods of compensation or incentives to get the public to support the fire departments. At this time, all of our equipment is operational. However, the age of the equipment is starting to show us an increased maintenance cost. Currently, our newest vehicle in our fleet is a 2007. With continually holding off replacement of equipment, we are running the chance of multiple vehicles needing to be replaced at the same time. The practice of purchasing used apparatus has put us into a situation that we'll need to start replacing hose, ladders, and all of the other equipment that is no longer NFPA compliant due to age. These items are normally purchased when the new apparatus is purchased. The use of mutual aid is a much needed asset to our departments. However, mutual aid is typically at least 20 to 30 minute wait for crews to arrive. We have a great working arrangement with all of our neighbors, but mutual aid was never intended to take place of having staff available to respond to the needs of our citizens when they have an emergency. We welcome anyone who has ideas on how we can better perform the tasks that are asked of us to bring them forward. We are still very active in the area of fire prevention. We have noticed a decreased number in structure fires over the years and are hoping that aggressive fire prevention activities have led to this reduction. Attached is a breakdown of the specifics of the calls, shows dates, times, townships they're in, number of trucks used, manpower, duration of the calls, and a brief type of the calls that we responded to.
Okay. Have any questions for the fire chief?
So in lobbyist efforts, I see you don't mention any of that, and in associations, you have lobbyists down in Madison?
Yep.
Has this fire department contacted lobbyists?
Yeah. I did.
You didn't put it in the report? Well, so you're asking for ideas, and I didn't see that in the report, so I thought the best thing is, a lot of different associations, they have lobbyists down in Madison, and that's who they contact. And so that's my suggestion.
Anybody else? Okay.
I haven't tracked up the meetings to
Yep.
get to yet
He
tonight.
gets to go to a couple more, so.
We'll schedule them on other nights, so. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is Police Chief Malcolm Pedersen.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, the department remains very busy serving and protecting citizens of Grand Rapids. The Grand Rapids Police Department handled 4,519 calls for service in 2017. And that compared to 4,948 calls for service during 2016, about a 8.6% decrease in calls. And I bet you should all have attached the breakdown of those calls for 2016 and 2017. The Grand Rapids Police Department had significant personnel changes over the last year. Full-time officer Robert Crum will resign to accept a deputy position with the Portage County Sheriff's Office, and Officer Jeremy Anderson resigned to accept a position with the Plover Police Department. Part-time officers Steve Spath and Don Voigt resigned to accept management positions at their full-time employment. That allowed us Officer Cody Conover and Officer James Jaworski joined our full-time ranks. One new part-time officer was added just recently, Officer Andrew Merks. He filled one of the part-time positions created when we moved our part-time officers to full-time positions, and also, of course, the resignation of a couple of part-time officers. We look forward to serving and working with all the residents of the town of Grand Rapids in 2018. Grand Rapids Auxiliary continues to be an invaluable asset to our community. The auxiliary officers worked hard to remain self-funded and at no cost to taxpayers. The auxiliary is a volunteer organization that helps out at various special events in and around town. They are trained for specific tasks at these special events, which greatly enhance the effectiveness of the Grand Rapids Police Department and acts as a force multiplier at the event. For calendar year 2017, the Grand Rapids Auxiliary Police worked a total of 8 events for 321.5 volunteer hours, and these volunteer hours saved the town over $9,600 when you compare this to a full-time officer's starting rate of pay. That's the starting rate of pay. Please take a minute to thank these individuals for their hard work and time they donate to our community. I would also like to add that the Grand Rapids Auxiliary is always looking for and recruiting highly motivated individuals to join this dedicated group. If you know someone that's interested, they can please contact us or stop by and pick up an application, and those applications are also posted on the town website. As with the fire department, finding dedicated volunteers to assist on our Grand Rapids Auxiliary is, we also have our challenges with that, and so hopefully we can recruit some. And it doesn't have to be the students going at Mid-State or UW Stevens Point. Anybody in the town can be a part of the Grand Rapids Auxiliary Police. At the end of the year 2017, we had 5 squad cars in the department fleet: a 2010 Dodge Charger with over 122,000 miles, a 2013 Dodge Charger with over 77,000 miles, a 2014 Dodge Charger with over 82,000 miles, a 2015 Ford Explorer with almost 45,000 miles, and a 2016 Ford Explorer with just over 15,000 miles. Officers met the state mandated training requirements for 2017. Training remains a priority for the department in 2018 to provide the best service for the residents of the town of Grand Rapids. On behalf of all the officers and staff of the Rapids Police Department, we're proud to serve this community now and into the future. And just to give you a recent example of that, James, if you could come on up for a second. Officer Jaworski here responded to a call just this last weekend. It was actually a first responder ambulance call just in the town of Grant, and the Portage County Sheriff's Office was out of position, and because of the weather, their response time was going to be extensive. So they called and asked if Officer Jaworski, who was working that night, if he could respond. And it was an overdose just over into the town of Grant. It was, what, a couple blocks into the town of Grant? So, and I'll just read you the email that I received from Portage County on this. Chief Peterson, I wanted to email you to extend my thanks for the assistance Officer Jaworski provided the Portage County Sheriff's Office and myself. In the early hours of April 14th, 2018, we were sent to, when you say we, they're referring to Portage County now. We were sent to an overdose on 82nd Street South due to no one from our agency being close by, and the fact that our response time was heavily delayed due to the weather. Officer Jaworski offered assistance. He was the first person on scene and administered a dose of Narcan. The subject who overdosed was ultimately recovered and taken to the hospital for precautionary reasons. Please extend my thanks to James for helping us out. I also, on that same incident, I received a text message from Assistant Chief Bob Pyatt, and who's also a Grand Rapids Fire Department first responder. Just a quick shout out to commentate on Officer Jaworski. He heard the overdose call in Grant. I heard him asking dispatch for permission to go into Portage County. When I arrived, he had assessed the scene, patient, administered Narcan, and started CPR, and got his pulse and breathing back. His swift action saved his life, especially with the delayed response because of the road. He deserves a pat on the back. So that's just one example, one recent example of the dedicated group of officers that this town has working for them. And I think we all should be very proud of their actions and what they do. We do carry Narcan on us. It's part of a grant through the Wood County Drug Task Force, and I think this is about the third or fourth, I haven't gone back and looked, but I think it's about the third or fourth save we've had, the town of Grand Rapids has had alone since we started carrying Narcan, maybe a little over a year now, I guess, a year and a half maybe. So, kudos to Officer Jaworski, and like I said, I think he, along with all the officers, deserve recognition for the things they do every day.
All right.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for Chief Pedersen regarding his report tonight? Okay. Thank you. Question? Thank you very much. Okay, next is the building and zoning. Patty Lumby.
Thank you.
Get through.
Yeah. Good evening, residents. The Building and Zoning Department mission. The mission of the Building and Zoning Department is to enforce building and zoning codes to protect the life and safety and enhance the quality of life for the citizens of the town. These goals are accomplished through enforcement of construction, electrical, plumbing, and heating, ventilating, and air conditioning codes for residential buildings. Staff receives applications for permits, review plans to ensure compliance with applicable codes and local ordinances. They issue the reports for construction and perform inspections to ensure work is performed in compliance with the codes and local zoning ordinances. Enforcement of the town's zoning codes is also a function of the department. Applications for permits are reviewed for compliance with all of the provisions and the zoning of all the districts to verify the desired use and occupancy allowed. The staff may also perform investigations and respond to complaints to ensure activities other than construction are not in violation of the zoning codes, along with the police department. The State of Wisconsin Act 211 required municipalities to have standard electronic building permit system available to provide building permits for 1 and 2 family homes. These permits must be submitted to the Department of Safety and Professional Services by the 15th of the first month after it's issued. January 2nd of 2018 is or was the deadline to have this available for use. Our attorney, Nicholas Flanagan, along with our zoning administrator, Peggy Dowdy, worked on this process. They were successful in completing the system prior to the deadline. This enabled the town to ensure that there was ample time to work out any issues. Thank you, Peggy and Nicholas, for your diligence. In 2017, the town of Grand Rapids issued permits for commercial projects. They had 3 commercial buildings, 3 commercial electric, 4 commercial remodels, and 2 commercial heating, ventilating, and air conditioning. Other permits issued were 2 rezoning, 2 subdivision final reviews, which is Oak Creek, which had 15 lots, and the Grand Pines, 47 lots. 3 conditional uses were issued: the school at Altenburg Farms, J2 Catering, Granny Blooming Onion, in addition, a CUP for a pond. 8 land use permits, which involved 3 vinyl metal sheds and 5 businesses. We had 7 new dog exemptions and 3 new domestic chicken permits. This ordinance was created this year. In 2017, and you'll be able to review these reports on the website, we issued 20 additions. We had 2 agricultural buildings, 10 detached garages, 24 sheds, 11 decks, 49 driveways, 24 electrical, 16 fences, 30 permits for heating, ventilating, and air conditioning, 1 moving permit, which they moved a garage, 10 plumbing permits, 2 pools. We had no portable storages, 3 raised buildings, and 1 sign permit, which was for a non-lit sign. In 2017, the average cost of the new home was $184,000 compared to 2016 of $199,000. The statement of assessment for these assessment homes was $476,959,800. The total permits that were issued this year for the Building and Zoning Department were 238 compared to 2016 was 224. The total permit revenue fee for 2017 was $24,105 compared to 2016 of $19,555. That's a 23% increase in permit fees. Respectfully submitted by Peggy Dowdy and Dale Bates, our building inspector from Badger Homeland Consultants. Any questions?
Okay, is there any questions for?
Just one thing you missed, Patty, the number of homes that was built last year.
Yes.
New homes was
New home,
23.
23, yes.
I didn't hear that.
Okay, I'm sorry. 23, and then in 2016 was 15. Thank you.
We're growing.
Yes, we're growing. Good news.
Okay. So again, Patty will also, member of the Planning Commission, will continue.
Thank you, Mr. Paulson. I'm honored by giving this report on behalf of our Plan Commission. First, I'd like to recognize our commissioners. Justin Connor, our Plan Commission Chairman. Jason Gruenberg is our Vice Chair. Our members are Jeff Brubaker, Brian Pietzek, Jason Sachs, Tom Heiser. Our Zoning Administrator and Plan Commission Secretary is Peggy Dowdy, and myself, Patty Lumbee, Town Supervisor. I would also like to thank these commissioners, along with our attorney, Nicholas Flanagan, for all of their diligence with all the agenda items that was brought before us this past year. These 7 residents are appointed to serve on the board for 3-year terms. The appointed officer's position, which is the chairman and the vice chair, are for only 1-year appointments, which can be reappointed by the town chairman and confirmed by the town board. The commissioners' terms are indicated on the report, which you can find on our town's website. This board is available to meet on the 2nd and 4th Monday of each month at 6:00 p.m., located right here at the Municipal Building. The Plan Commission was created to consider rezoning requests, conditional uses, ordinance violations, text and map amendments, and land divisions, consistency between the comprehensive plan and the zoning ordinance, and the official map, and various other planning and zoning building-related issues. The Commission also considers dog exemption reports or requests, as well as domestic fowl requests, which was just created this year. In 2017, 12 meetings were held to review and make recommendations to the town board. The following items were presented to the Plan Commission. Below is a chart with the 6 years history, which again you can see on the town's website. We had 7 requests last year, 2017, for dog exemption, and 2016 we had 4. We had 3 domestic fowl permits this year, or excuse me, 2017. Land use permit requests were 8. Conditional use permits were 4. Certified survey map requests were 3. Rezoning of property requests was 2. Subdivision, the final reviews were 2. And advisory was 1. Happy to announce that this past year in 2017, we did not lose any acreage from the town. Nothing was annexed to the city, as well as it was in 2016. So beginning of 2017, the Plan Commission, along with our attorney Flanagan, met to review and make recommendations to the town board to amend the official street map relating to vacating future road reservations. Some of the future road reservations charted many years ago no longer made sense due to the subdivisions being created, homes built, and the expense to build a road due to the contour of the land. So the commissioners, along with the assistant of our attorney, Nicholas Flanagan, made recommendations to the Legislation Committee Town Board ordinances for the following: business and licensing permitting, mobile food vending license and permitting, and domestic fowl ordinance. So if you'd like to see any of these statistics, please feel free to visit our website, townofgrandrapids.org, where you can find a lot of valuable information.
Okay, is there any questions for Patty on this portion of her report?
Thank you.
Yeah? All right, great. Next, we will have Bill Pendenning, Chairman of Recycling and Solid Waste.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In December of 2017, the Recycling and Solid Waste Committee members were Town of Grand Rapids Supervisor Patty Lumby and Grand Rapids resident Ray O'Nasty and myself, Bill Clendenning. In September of 2017, a 2-year contract was with Advanced Disposal and approved commencing January 1st, 2018 of this year. In 2017, Advanced Disposal invoiced the town $401,929. The cost of the curbside pickup in waste and recycling was $131 per unit, and this rate remains the same for 2018. In 2017, curbside pickup for waste was 2,014 tons, or 524 pounds per capita for our residents. And this was 523 in 2016. If you notice on the report, it's just a few pounds. It changes every year. In 2017, recyclable tonnage was 601 tons, or 156 pounds per capita. In 2016, it was 158 pounds. On September 9th, 2017, the committee held its second Choose to Reuse program, and we collected 10,160 pounds of metals and iron and 760 pounds of dumpster waste. And we also collected 145 gallons of used oil, collected $214 in dumpster income, where we charge people for throwing it in a dumpster. And also $750 went to ODC in income from electronics and TVs. They get the TVs and the money. And we also collected $224 for tires. I go into page 2, and I'm not really happy with this, but if you'll just notice on corrugated, okay, let's go 2012, no, the tons, 2012. Yes, it's 36,425. And then if you go over to the other ones, see if I got the right ones here. No, I mean aluminum containers and commingle was the same, 1.9. How they figure this is remarkable. It's the same amount in look at, let's go to 2017. Newspapers, 168,190. And then you go over here, it's the same thing for steel and bimetal. The same thing in 2016. It was 170, 778, and if you go over there, it's the same figure. How they figure this is about 5 years ago, they went and when you dump it into the recyclables, they weighed that all up and determined what it was. And they've used those figures now for 5 years. It's just remarkable how they're the same weight every year. I just think that it's something that I would have liked to have talked about with the recyclers on it, and why that is done. So, but we didn't get a chance to do that. So, our recycling report is good. We are below the state average in our number of pounds per resident. And one of the remarkable ones is the town of Grant, but they have a transfer site where they actually put things in containers and they're weighed. We get a bulk rate for it. So on the bottom of page 2 also, there's some websites there that you can see us doing the choose to reuse. And also, I'd like to thank all the volunteers that we do have for the choose to reuse. Last year we had 17 volunteers, and it turns out, and I'd like to thank the town board for allowing us to have the choose to reuse program. Any questions?
Okay, any questions for Mr. Clendon? Thanks, Bill. All right, next we will have Judge David Grace for our municipal court.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I don't have a great deal new to present to the board and to the community. The court now has been together for a number of years, and it works quite well. I think that some of our functions, as I see, are doing the town well in terms of some of the diversion programs for some of the minors. I think have worked fairly well, and apparently the system's working well because we don't have a great deal of contested citations that come in. We have a system where if somebody does, they can come in and plead not guilty, and they participate in a pretrial conference. And I believe that system is working very well and results in a very effective use of the municipal court system. Interestingly, the majority of our trials, I think, arise out of issues that Saratoga has with the enforcement of their zoning codes and the use of property down there. And it's not as many trials that relate to the citations that are being issued here in Grand Rapids. Other than that, I think that the system works quite well, and glad to be a participant in it.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Judge Grace? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along. Gil Layton, Board of Appeals.
Gonna be done early tonight.
I'll tell you.
Okay, good evening. First off, the Grand Rapids Board of Appeals. Seems like since we started getting a little bit stricter on administering and sticking to the zoning ordinance, we have less appeals. But we had 4 zoning appeals meetings in 2017, all dealing with the request to build within the building setback requirements from lot lines. 3 of those were for garages, and 1 was for a rabbit pen. 2 were denied, 2 were approved with modifications or conditions. So we talk about things like requiring screening. Sometimes we modify. The applicant may come in with a request for moving 20 feet into the setback. We may cut that down to 10 and approve it with that, but those are the kinds of modifications we often allow. So any questions?
Questions, okay. We'll give you one more shot up there then,
Yeah.
Gil, you did. So for sanitation district?
Sanitary.
Sanitary.
We had to correct that
Read it right.
late on, yeah. So the Grand Rapids Sanitary District, not everybody is aware but it only encompasses about 2/3 of the township of Grand Rapids. We held 2 meetings in 2017, one jointly with the Grand Rapids Town Board to discuss high groundwater issues and another to discuss and make a decision on any involvement by the sanitary district regarding those groundwater issues. District currently has approximately $28,540 held in interest-paying accounts, which can only be used for drainage, municipal water, or sanitary sewer work within the sanitary district. So, any questions regarding that?
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Number 4 on the agenda, we will set the compensation for all elected town officials in office in April 2020 under Wisconsin Statute 60.32. Okay. So there is a list here of what the compensation is for 2017, 18, and 19. I guess we go to discussion.
Yeah.
Does anybody, yeah, do we want to keep it the same? Does it want to be changed? Is there any discussion?
And this is for people who will run in the next term of office, which will begin, they have to know this before December 1st, 2018, correct?
No, it takes
No.
place, it starts April 2020.
Yeah, April 2020 is when the next, it's set now for 19,
It's always 2 years ahead of time that we
Yep.
do, so we're setting for 2020 now.
no. So this would be for 2 years from now, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
It's done that way so that you don't have some board members at one level and some at another. It's sent in advance of the year so that it equals out and you're only, every supervisor is paid the same rate of pay then. That's why it was done that way.
So that's our rule, that's not the statute.
That's what we chose to do.
That's our rule.
It's not a law by no means.
60.32 is the law.
Right. It says it can be set by the town officials. It's town officials at the last meeting chose to set it that way.
Okay.
Yeah, Dan, I've always been a proponent of not letting things get too far behind. And we've carried some of these dollar amounts for a long time now. Taking little bites every year seems to me to make a lot more sense than waiting until we get so far behind on what we're paying people that we have trouble drawing qualified people.
Mhm.
So with that, I'm gonna make a recommendation that we haven't raised the per diem since April of 2017, it was 55. What we would approve tonight, if we do pass a motion, won't take effect until 2020.
Right.
With that,
May I just say, just for a point of order, it depends upon your motion.
I'm gonna make a motion that we increase the per diems by $10 effective for April of 2020.
The per diem, or the salary?
Per diem.
Per diem, okay, so that, your motion then would be that the chairman's per diem would be $75, and the supervisors would be $70, correct?
I'm not recommending at this time, at least my motion, is not to touch the salary, but to get the per diem up there.
Okay. So we have a motion out there right now for, in April of 2020, for the chairman's salary to be $300 per diem of $75, supervisors of $140 with a per diem of $70. Is there a second? Okay.
No second.
With no second, then,
Motion fails.
yeah, the motion will fail.
Any other motions?
Do we have any other motions?
No.
Okay.
This is same.
So then, with no other motion, then it stays the same, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it'll be $300 for the chairman, $65 per diem, and $140 for supervisors, and $60. All right. So then we'll move on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so number 5, transact business authority under section 60.10, Wisconsin statute. Is there any other business that anybody wants to bring to the attention?
I would like to see the town board consider putting a camera system in at the town garage. I think we just put one in the fire department, and a lot of things I think go on at the town garage that probably shouldn't be going on. And there are fake cameras out there, and I think that's misleading.
So just for clarification, the town did not put in the camera system in the fire department. The fire department used their fundraising funds to pay for that.
And that's what I indicated, that there is in there. I'm not condemning them for doing it.
Right.
But I think we've got them in this building, we've got them out there for traders.
Yeah,
And we have them here, and I'm suggesting that we consider having some at the town garage.
Yep, and I agree with that. I just wanted to make clear that that wasn't out of the town's funds. Okay.
If you make a motion, it'd only be an advisory, so was that a
Right.
formal motion or just a
No,
recommendation?
it wasn't. It
Well,
was
then-
just an advisory consideration.
Then no motion is needed.
All right, anything else? No?
If not, call them closed.
We will call a meeting adjourned at 7:48. Thank you very much. 6:48. We got another hour yet, we're gonna sit here.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
James?